All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Pre-New York session. I'm your host for today's session, Benny Allen, and we're definitely happy and grateful for you being here this morning with us as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex markets this week. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots and lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. And if you are all ready to go, let's participate early. Drop me a 1 in the chat, and we can get this session started. Awesome. Thanks, Carolyn. Deep, Reese. Appreciate it. Michael. All right. Good morning to all of you. Let's dive right into it. So let me do one more check real quick. Let's make sure. All right. Okay. Everything is active. So let's take a look at the Forex factors here we have going on today. So early, Bank of Canada, head of the central bank, spoke this morning, Governor Bailey as well. And then we have at 9 a.m., hold on a second. 9 a.m., Chairman Powell is going to speak. And we've got CPI later today for Australia. So we've got also Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda speaking as well. So very, 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 very busy day in that regard. So a lot of central bankers will be speaking. So all eyes and ears will be on what they have to say, especially ahead of, so we've got Australian CPI coming through today at 7:30 p.m., but moving throughout the week, you can see here Thursday is where the markets are waiting, and that's the CPI data for the United States to see, if we're going to have another month where we see a decline in inflation. Okay, so that's going to be very important. So as you can see, as we start out the week, the markets are kind of choppy, in anticipation of Powell's remarks today, but then also the CPI data that's coming through on Thursday. So we will continue to watch and see, what happens as we lead up to Thursday's CPI report. Don't be surprised if you continue to see the markets choppy up until that point. We may get some volatility today with Powell's remarks, but we'll see. We shall see. Any questions in regards to any of the economic events coming up today or later this week? Okay. All right. Move it over to trading economics. We can see here today that European shares extended losses on Tuesday, down from Monday's over 8-month highs as investors weighed hawkish comments from the European Central Bank and Federal Reserve policymakers against hopes that the Eurozone will only get a shallow recession amid easing price pressures. Investors are now gearing up for a speech by Fed Chair Jerome Powell later today. So, these are the things that the market is waiting on. All right. So, like I said, don't be surprised if you see things come through pretty choppy as we wait on Chairman Powell's speech and CPI later on this week. Any questions over the fundamentals at all? Yes, no? US dollar index, Still in a range. Okay, still in a range, still holding up at that level of support. Okay, and you can see here, as far as coming into today, got a little bit of bullish momentum. Not much, but still holding above that monthly support level. 4 hour, you can see where we've gotten a low to confirm. And so we'll see if we get any type of dollar bullishness, right? Continuing off that level there, right? It's still ranging, but we're looking like we're starting to form a base there. So we'll see after Chairman Powell's remarks today if we get any type of reaction on the U.S. dollar. Any questions on the U.S. dollar and where we are right now? Thanks. Okay. All right. So let's move and take a look at some of the setups that we were looking at before. I know the Aussie Swiss mix just couldn't stay above, right, the price levels that we were looking for. So let's take a look at that one first. Right. So we were looking to see if price wanted to correct, but let's start off here at the daily level. So we'll go to the weekly first, and we see where we're holding right in the zone. Okay. Now, what we posted, the trade I did in the Telegram was like a 15 down to a 5 minute, looking at a cloud break opportunity. But this is where we are overall for the long term. You're looking at the long term trend. So we've been bullish. We've rejected off this level here, and I would say we're bearish, right? Coming off that high with that long wick. Okay, so it's finding resistance there. So we were trying on the lower time frames to look at the possibility of a correction to the upside because of where we are in this wave sequence, right? So we were looking for it to form a base, right, and then continue to the upside, which we may still get that, but like I said, beginning of the week, markets are a little bit choppy. So all in all, right, Aussie Swiss, the bulk of your Aussie pairs moving bullish. So you can see here we're in the middle of this ABCD wave, right? Your A, your B, your C is your lowest point within the AB boundary. And now we've made this correction off the highs. So now it's just a matter of whether it forms this low and then it continues long. So if we come into the 1 hour, you'll see exactly where we are. Okay, on your 1 hour wave, coming off that leg, right? So we're still within this AB boundary, right? We still have an opportunity for that price to move up, right? But this is where we were looking before for that break to happen. Oops. But we moved, right, a little lower in the zone. Okay. So at some point, right, we still may have an opportunity for that base to form and then that long continuation. So we didn't get it here in this area, but just continue to watch that because I am still bullish on the Aussie right now. And here we are, right? So here, when you're looking at the 5, we got a slight break, right? But we just couldn't make it to that first take profit level, and then we pulled back below the cloud. So we may still get that swing, right? So still keep an eye on that. That one took me out. I had it right below the low. And it took me out, and we're moving sideways. So, like I say, I'm still fundamentally my bias is still bullish on the Aussies. So we'll see if we can get that break and it can gain some momentum. But it may take a little while, considering everything that's ahead fundamentally. Any questions on that Aussie Swiss play? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. We also had looking at great idea for the thanks, Michael. The NZD Swiss. All right. So if we come down, so we can see here where you've been bullish, right, from a weekly perspective, and now we're kind of moving sideways there. So we look for those smaller intraday plays. And then also here, you've got a level, right, where for your swing, we're looking for that breakout, right? We're looking for that breakout. We can see how we broke, okay? Up, got a retest there, pushed up. Here's our retest. Now we're just sideways. Now we're just sideways, trying to get that bullish momentum, right? And that's the play that we were trying to make down on this lower time frame on your lower charts, right? Trying to get that breakout. And we see that we're trying to push those levels to continue bullish. All right. Now we're getting that choppiness. What we did, we come in here, we are still holding above the cloud, right? So we finally got that break, right? Got that break that we're looking for is just moving sideways. And we'll see if it continues to move bullish. So we got a nice strong candlestick there on the 5. And we'll see if we can continue to push right to that 58.85 level, 58.99 level. Again, market's a bit choppy to start the week, and that's okay, right? So we'll just continue to see how that moves there. All right, so that's the NZD Swiss. Any questions on that one? All right, okay. So you can see, right, from week to week can be a little bit different in regards to what fundamentally is happening in the market. Last week, right, things came out like gangbusters, got good price action. This week we're starting out a little slow, right? And that's what happens a lot of times when you have major reports that are due out and the market kind of settles in a little bit and things aren't super active, right? Okay, so let's move to there was a Euro NZD that we posted, right? And overall, right, your euros across the board are pretty much bullish. Okay, so you can see here we're starting the week out bullish. Okay, I don't know what happened to my daily chart, so I'll have to redo that one. And you can see here on the 4, right? Okay, sideways momentum, but you can see how we got that breakout below support, but then we came right back up in that range, right? A bullish push, okay, on that Euro NZD. Now we're just moving sideways. Okay, we're gonna see this on a lot of pairs here. So bullish, and now we're moving sideways. Okay. But you had an opportunity here where we are in that 80-20 zone, right? That's why the trade idea was posted, where you have this 80-20 zone, and then if you drop down to the 5-minute, right, gives you an opportunity for early entry. But here you are for this play. So if we do continue to get that correction to the downside, this is what you're going to be looking at. Okay. All right, at 382. And of course, that's 61.8. Okay. And that B2C move, that swing, right? In that 80-20 zone. If you're looking right to stay bullish and you're trading off that 15, then of course, all right, we're just gonna wait to see if we can get that low price and then get back along. Okay, you got some key levels down here in this area. So we'll see if we get that correction. All right, we need a catalyst to get some things going for the week. But that's the overall play there. Any questions on the Euro NZD? All right. Let's take a look at the Aussie yen. Okay. So again, your Aussies overall have been bullish, right? Good momentum. Okay, to the upside, we can see here where it's rejected at 87.26 price level multiple times. Okay. All right. And if we come to the daily, you can see where we got a beautiful, right? Beautiful retest here, right, of this level. And now we're trying to push above that 9104 level to remain bullish. Okay. So, right, you can see how prices is broken off that leg as we zoom in. And what we want to do is see if we're going to hold at this 9103 level and continue long. Okay. So long Aussie yen, here's your correction on the 1. This is where we're sitting at. Okay. Zoom out. We got the trend line break, sell zone, buy zone. We've been moving up. Okay. So here's your capital fib. And then these are your sub fibs off this long leg here, long impulsive leg. And now we've got another correction. See here? And we're trying to get a break above that level to continue bullish. Okay. So this is where that trade idea comes from. It's the secondary, right? That wave coming off that main fib. And now we want to see if we can break out and continue to the upside on the Aussie yen. And this is what you're looking like on the 15th. See if we can hold within that AB boundary and then start to take out some levels, right? So this is a short-term target here. And then we get up around that 118, 127 zone, and then the 1.618D extension. Any questions on that setup? No. All right. Any particular pairs that we want to take a look at this morning that you guys may have your eye on in the trading? Euro USD, Carolyn. Okay. CAD. Okay. Euro Aussie, so a lot of Euro pairs. Okay. All righty. So let's take a look at Carolyn's setup, Euro USD. And we know for the most part, the Euros have been moving bullish. So we'll see, if they're continuing or if we're in a correction. So, right, here we are on the weekly. Okay. All right. Carolyn, talk to me. Is this how your chart is looking from a weekly perspective? Yes. Okay. All right. So we're in a critical area, right? That 107 that we've been talking about for a long time, right? For at least a couple weeks. Okay. Sitting right at this level, we want to see if price is going to hold there, correct, or if it's going to break above it. A lot of that's going to hinge on that CPI report coming out. Okay. So this is where we are. We're still here. We've moved bullish. See the break? See how price broke down and came back and corrected, and now we've moved right back up in that zone. So we've got a continued bullish move right now on the Euro USD. So if I'm looking at this pair, okay, and we're in this zone, let me ask you this, Carolyn. Have you taken a position on this trade? Yes, you're bullish. Okay. Now we're ahead of the report now. So depending on how much in profit you are in this trade, right? You want to make sure you manage that. Okay. You're coming up into that 107 level. Now is not a time to add to it, right? It's to manage your profit that you have. Okay. Manage your profit that you have, because you have to be aware that, hey, we could get volatile today ahead of Chairman Powell's speech. And then we've got CPI data coming out on Thursday. All right, we got CPI data coming out on Thursday. But one of the things that you have to look at fundamentally, right, is European shares extended losses on Tuesday, down from Monday's over 8-month highs, as investors weighed hawkish comments from the European Central Bank and Federal Reserve. Right? Policymakers against hopes that the Eurozone will only get a shallow recession amid easing price pressures. Okay. So the European Central Bank, okay, is being pretty hawkish right now. Okay. So let me ask you this, Carolyn, is that positive or negative for the euro? Okay. If you have a hawkish European Central Bank, right, that leaves the potential for it to be positive. Okay, so you got easing price pressures, and the markets rallied. Right, the markets rallied as a result, because this is kind of the same thing that's going on here in the United States, right? The market right now is betting that the Federal Reserve they're going to come through with a smaller rate hike come February, because we're seeing easing price pressures. Mm-hmm. So they're saying, okay, well, probably in February, they're going to come through at 25 basis points instead of the 50. Right? And that may be so, but then they're also banking that the Fed is going to pause rates, and then they're going to eventually cut rates back end of the year. Right? Pretty much a coin flip on that. A lot of some heavy investors saying, no, we don't see any rate cuts this year. Some of them are saying they're being aggressive and saying that the Fed is going to cut. Okay, the Fed is saying, hey, don't be too overzealous, right, in regards to whether or not we're going to cut rates or even pause rates this year. Okay. And once we get it to the levels that we need to get the rates to, right, we may hold them and maintain them there for quite some time. The market is betting against that. Okay. And as the saying goes, you don't bet against the Fed. So you got the same kind of thing coming out of the European Central Bank, right? The market's seeing easing price pressures coming out of the Eurozone. We went over that last week with a lot of the reports that were coming out, what the data was showing. But these central banks are still not at their 2 to 3% price target. Right? Their main focus is inflation. So when you see an article like that saying that the European Central Bank, despite seeing some of the data points that say that, hey, price pressure is easing, the European Central Bank is saying, hey, you know, we're still pretty hawkish in regards to what we need to do as it relates to rates. So that would be positive for the euro. That would be positive for the euro in regards to interest rate hikes, potential interest rate hikes. All right. And we have to remember that the yen is the ultimate lagger in regards to interest rate hikes, but the euro lagged for quite some time in regards to raising rates, and now they're doing it. Okay. So you've got a hawkish European Central Bank, okay? And if the European Central Bank continues to be hawkish, that's going to be strong for the euro. So and then, right, we've got to wait on what Chairman Powell is going to say. All right, but this has been moving bullish, and we're in a critical area ahead of the report. Okay, you got it? Cool. All right, ahead of that report. So what we want to see is that it's going to rally. I'm looking at this level here. Right? And if I get a break and a retest of this zone, then I'll look to continue bullish. I'll look to continue bullish on that. All right. But I'm managing my position at this point on the Euro USD. If I'm long, great job. Right? Great job. I'm long on that. But I'm with caution here as we approach these levels ahead of Chairman Powell's speech, okay? Because that could definitely move the markets and ahead of CPI. Any questions on the Euro USD? No, we're at a critical level that the market's eyeing. Okay. All right. EuroCAD. let's go over here. Let's take a look at, before we jump, let's take a look at, let's take a look at crude. Right, stabilized on Tuesday, $75 per barrel, up now more than 3% from last week's lows, 72.50 on prospects for a rebound in economic activity in China and persistent tight global supply. Okay, so China is the world's second largest economy and the biggest oil importer. China announced more financial aid to households and companies to screw up growth after the nation ended its COVID zero policy. All right. But we still have persistent fears of demand stacking global recession triggered by an aggressive tightening campaign from major central banks continue to hang over the market. All right. Okay. So let's look at the EuroCAD. So overall, this is most likely right. Bullish, right? But correct. We're at a key level. All right. We're at a key level here. So we pushed up, right? See, we broke out of that weekly zone, bullish, right? Nice range breakout. Boom. Okay. If, right, you're working from your high time frames down and you see areas of consolidation like this, it's a no-brainer to put it on your radar, everybody. Everybody follow me on that? Drop me a 1 in the chat. Okay. You're talking about huge long-term moves that can occur, right? Range breakouts are huge, especially on your higher time frame. Okay. So you see how this finally pushed through that level at 132.63, and then it just moved sideways for a while, and then look at the break here, this next bullish candle, and then your continuation. Okay. So off that break here, moved over 800 pips, almost 900 pips to the upside. Okay, see this breakout here that took out those lows, and then the push down. Okay, so if we come into the daily time frame, we can see how off this impulse leg, we can see where we are in regards to the Fed sequence. We're at the 236 level, and we formed a low here. We're forming a low. We get a day's close, the day to close above this 143.32 level. You've got a new swing low, and that's going to give you support. You've already got it on the 4 in your lower time frame. So we're technically pushing bullish. We're pushing bullish right now. All right. Okay. Pushing bullish into the zone. Here's this 80-20. Okay. If we hold at these levels, this is probably going to turn over and continue to the downside for correction. Okay. So we're overall bullish, and we're in a B2C correction phase. Okay. So if I'm looking to buy this for that continuation long, right, we ultimately would love to see it come back down to get a nice low price. Okay. Get a nice low price. Okay. So here's the 80-20 move. Here we're holding. Okay. If we hold below these levels, right, probably going to get that correction to continue to the downside. Okay. So we're bullish, but we're in an up retracement zone when you look at your 4-hour chart. Okay. So if I'm looking to buy off the long-term swing, right, because look, okay, we're at a 236 here. Okay. We're at a 236. So let's see how this plays out if we can get that low price. Okay. On now. We shall see. We shall see, but that's where we are. See. Okay. Bennett, which way are you playing that? Long, okay, okay. Long back above, playing the break to the levels. Okay. 1 hour sub, gotcha. Okay. I can dig it. Okay. Yeah. Just manage the trade. Just manage the trade. Just manage the trade there. You know, we got some traffic, right? It can eventually settle and correct to the downside, right? So we just continue to watch that oil price. Watch that oil price. It is overall long, right? We know that the euros across the board are pretty much long. If you come over and you take a look at the technical summary, right? When we look at our euros, right, we can see that we're overall long. Okay? We're overall long. Right? So when you look at long, it's like, hey, am I in that B to C move, right, phase of it, or am I in that C to D push zone? All right. So, you know, when you intraday trade, it's okay to take those bounces, right? If that's in your trade plan and you like playing that, right? It's back above that 143.32 level. Right. So that's not a bad play, but now we're kind of pushing sideways. So you know what you're looking for, man. Right? If we continue long, we're gonna break through these levels. We're gonna break and retest those levels or continue. If not, we're gonna hold, we're gonna get short. And I know you're managing your trade accordingly. That's where we are in the Euro CAD. Any questions on that setup? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So we always say a lot of ways to skin a cat. Let's just be consistent. Let's just be consistent in what we do. All right. Euro oddly. Take a look at it. What's going on with it? All right. All right, you can see here, right? We're still holding above this level, this 152.95. For the week, we're pushing long. Okay. Look at where we are. Okay. Off this daily leg. Okay. This level appears to be holding again. All right. See that there? We're getting some momentum. Starting to get that momentum. Come to the fore. We held. Okay. We can see that we held. Pushing long. Oh, 153.99. Great job. Right around in this area. Great work. Great work. Great work, Reese. Right. Here we are, moving long. Right. Here we are moving long. Look at that. Right. We come down to the 15. Right. Look at that swing. Moving right back up. So it's been a wild ride for it. It happens. It happens, but it came right back to retest that zone and pushed up. So here's that original target, right? Here's that original target that was marked up off that last fib. And this is just, hey, this is how the market goes, everybody. Right? So you got 100 and something pips off that swing, and then it took it all back. It came right around that zone, right? Started at that D extension, but look at the reversal. It's probably going to hit right back to that original target. That's the game we play. That's the game we play. Right? So it's trying to move right back up to that level. Right? So let's see how it plays out. See if it continues to push long. I am long on the euros. You look, here's your longer term swing, right? Right? So we have to make sure that we that we zoom out, get the larger picture, right? So here's that move to the downside, and that's what you see on the lower time frames, right? So you can just imagine, right? Draw your trend line at these levels, and then here's your break. So we'll see if we continue to get that bullish momentum. Okay, so we're at a 61.8 now, long term. Okay, that's over 800 pips away to that D extension. To this next level is 400. Right, gonna move here to 73. So right now, right, ahead of U.S. CPI, ahead of Chairman Powell's speech, we're bullish. You're Ozzy. Any questions? Nope. Any other pairs that we want to take a look at? Got quiet group today. Take a look at the GU. All right, so here we are, right? Starting the week, we're seeing some bullish momentum. Okay, seeing some bullish momentum to start the week. Moving to the daily, right? So we push long, and now we're retesting this candle, retesting the support that we broke through at 121.26. Okay, so we've gotten some more bullish momentum. Keep in mind, right? We've got Chairman Powell speaking today, and so here we are. Okay, here was the break. Huge move. Huge move. Okay, even off that bearish candle, right? That broke, price moved down. Okay, 300 pips. Now we move back up top side, over 350 pips, bullish. Okay, this is gonna come down to what Chairman Powell has to say today, and CPI on Thursday when it comes to this pound dollar. So we're coming back to retest this level again. If we hold above it, right? If we hold above this level, we have to assume that, hey, we're gonna most likely move high. Okay. Here's some levels here off the 4. So there we are. So we're coming back to retest this level. So this is the zone that I would be looking at. Okay. So we know, right, as of late, we've had some bullish momentum back to the top side. So this is our zone to focus on. We know the dollar, right, is kind of stuck in a range a bit. When we look at the DXY, it's just moving back and forth in the same price range. And now, right, we're coming on the pound dollar to retest this area. So let's see what happens. Okay. There's a nice trade, right? That's a nice trade off the high, right? If you play that, you get a rejection off that zone. But this is coming into a level here, right? So it depends on your overall bias. Okay. Like I say, we've been bullish as of late. If we took out a pretty critical area, right? You can see how it consolidated. And then it broke down and it pushed right back up through that zone. So let's see, right? When we get to this level, if we form a swing low, and we say, hey, you know what? That momentum may continue to carry to the upside, leads back up to the top to retest that 122.09. If not, we get that break below. Then we look for a retest of this zone and a continuation down. All right, so that's definitely one to keep an eye on pound dollar. Any questions on that? Nope. All right. So let's take a look at gold. I cleared my oil chart, so that would be a good fresh markup. Let's take a look at gold. All right, we know we've been pushing long. All right, look at that. So we're right back at that 1878. See? When we had that level drawn out, boom. Did it. Broke it. All right, moved beyond it. Broke that 1857 level we spoke about, and now we're at 1878. So if we get above that, we look for a continuation. We look for a bullish continuation. All right, we're right here, pushing up 118, 127 zone. Right. So looking at it from the daily, if we break that level, right, look to push up to that zone. We'll be in that zone. We don't have a 382 yet. Okay. Holding at that level right now. Let's see what Chairman Powell has to say today. That's going to be key. Moving sideways. Moving sideways. That's where we are. So here's the question, right? Based on the technical analysis that we've done, do we have our overall direction right on gold? Yes or no? Yes. Right? That's what it's all about. Okay? A lot of people have a hard time making money in the market because they can't consistently get their direction right. So we've got the direction right, right? So congratulations, right? We've got the direction right on that. We've got this swing right. We got that break and that retest. That's right. Okay? You eat an elephant one piece at a time. So we got that right. So we come down to the 15, right? Look at that. How that's just hovering, moving sideways. So we've got, when you look at this 15, we've got some zones. We're right here right now. Okay, we put that back in there. So we break below that. Right. So we're looking for those, right, those intraday plays and how the market may react in the short term. There. There. The market wants to get corrective. Okay. All right. There we are. Okay. So it just all depends on how granular you want to get. But through all the ways, right, when you come down here, it gets choppy on these lower time frames. Okay. Through all the ways, right, because you do your analysis, they're moving along. Just been moving up. That's what gold's been doing. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful price action. Any questions on gold? Short. Okay. I see it. I can dig it. I can dig it. All right. Just manage your trade, right? We know we got Chairman Powell speaking today. That can move the markets. I like to play. Okay. Let's take a look at. Yeah, put it back in. Yep. WTI. We can mark this one up because I was actually redoing this one. So we can mark this up to finish things out. So we come up here to the monthly, right? Okay. Do our due diligence, right? Follow, right? Our markup range. Boom. Extreme high, extreme low. That was in our lifetime. Okay. So we ask ourselves, what was I doing? Was I panicking or was I looking for opportunity? Okay. Those are the things I think about all the time. Here we go. There. Support and resistance. Monthly, right? Here's a target. Potential downside there. It's my high there. Okay. Take it down to the weekly. All right, take this down to the lower time frame. Just like so. Drop some levels in. Okay. It's good, solid technical analysis. There, resistance. Okay. And we know we've got, right, got China reopening. We saw that in the article, but we have global demand fears. Right? And it's the possibility of recession. Okay. Econ 101, supply and demand. Drop that level in case we need it later. It's already there. Here we are. Okay. So we can see, right? Here's the low, right? Here's a high, here's a higher high, higher high, higher low. Okay. Let's see what Chairman Powell speaks today. CPI on Thursday. If we can get some momentum to the upside. Okay. We'll see. But right now we have formed a low at this level, right? And we do have some bullish momentum coming off that bottom. Right? So you can see how we've made that swing all the way up, and we've come right back down to retest that zone. It's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game. Now let's see if we can maintain momentum to the upside. Okay. So overall, we have been bearish. We have to say that. Look. Okay. Now we respected that level at 72.52. Okay. Here's a high. So here we go. If we can break, right, push. Okay. If you're not already long off that low, we can break and take out that level. Okay. See what we can do. So anywhere in that zone, we may come back to retest that trend line. That's where we are. Any questions on oil? No? All right. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I am doing all right. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man.
Glad
I was able to pop in too.
Yeah. Always glad to have you, man. Always glad to have you. How the family and everybody?
Everybody's hanging in there, man.
Okay.
Everybody's hanging in there. Yep. Appreciate
you. Yep, for sure. All right. Anything else, right, that we want to look at? We got like 5 minutes before we wrap things up. Any time for maybe one more pair? Anybody wants to take a look at it? All right. So look, just continue to, last week the market came out like gangbusters. This week a little choppy ahead of Chairman Powell's speech, CPI data coming out on Thursday. So let's wait. Let's be patient. All right. And see what happens as a result of this speech today. See if it can serve as a catalyst to really get these markets moving, because that's what everybody's waiting on. Carolyn, right? You're looking at the 5 minute. It is coming down on the correction. So what are you thinking there, Carolyn? You're thinking that you're playing at a 382. You're thinking, hey, low price, and then sit and wait because you're bullish right now. Sales in the buy. All right. I see it, right? We're the AB boundary. Okay. Short term. Just be cautious because we do have news. We do have that major speech coming from Powell today. All right. So just be careful with it. That you're in that B2C move, right? You're in that B2C move. But if you're long, right? So this is one of those situations to where if you're long already, you have a position long, you can wait on a low price too. Right? You can wait on a low price too to get back involved with that trader to add potentially to your position, right? But I'm sitting out on this one right now. Is at some pretty key levels, right? Not quite at that 107.89, but I know we've got news today, so I'm kind of just hanging out. So sitting on the sidelines with those dollar crosses. All right. Appreciate you though. Appreciate you for putting in that work and asking the questions on a regular basis.
It's been trying to get to that level for the longest.
I know. It has been. But I'm fascinated to see what happens. Not only today, but Thursday is what I have my eyes set out for. Is their CPI data, because I think that'll be like 7 consecutive months of easing inflationary pressure. But we're still nowhere near that 2 to 3%. So I tend to roll with the Fed, so I'll definitely be paying attention to Chairman Powell's speech. All right. Any other questions before we wrap it up? All right. Quiet group this morning. I'm sending Red Bull to everybody now. Ryan, anything to add before we close out?
No, sir. Great session, man.
Thank you very much. Hey, tonight I'll see everybody 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian section. Have a good day, everybody.